AFTV Turkish, good to have you in the building, man. But that was poor Turkish. Terrible performance today.
Yeah, it was terrible, and that's the thing I didn't want most of all today. You know, because no one can say we deserve to beat Liverpool. We should be going out to beat Liverpool. You know, we need to understand that where we are right now, is not at the stage where we can go into this game confidently. I thought we might be able to nick a draw at home. You know, a lot of people were talking about Liverpool's record at the Emirates. Yes, they've drawn quite a few games, but we've won one 90-minute game against Liverpool.
But they haven't turned us over like today. And last season, we beat a better Liverpool. And I just could not, right from the get-go in the game, I'm like, hold on, ain't this a big game?
Last season, we beat a Liverpool that had just won the league.
Yeah, but they were chasing 100 points. They actually had probably more to go for, or just as much, because they are trying to get into the top four. They had just as much to aim for in that game last season. But I just thought today, last season, we treated that game like we're playing a big team in Liverpool. This game, it was just like, it's just a game of, it's just, there was no intensity in the team at all for the whole 90 minutes. You know, you looked at Aubameyang, you looked at, the defence, Ceballos in midfield. I mean, there was just nothing. They were just coasting around.
That's the story of Arsenal of the last 5-10 years, Rob. This is what I was just about to say. We've beaten Liverpool once in 90 minutes since April 2015. That's 6 years. It is now April 2021. Once in 90 minutes. That's the bigger problem here. Not tonight. Yes, we got banged. Yes, we got embarrassed. But in all honesty, this is something we can expect as well. I said going into this game, we can nick it. It's most likely going to be a draw, or we can be embarrassed. We can't embarrass Liverpool, but you get my point.
What did you think of the defending today?
Listen, Gabriel was solid all up until even the first goal was nothing to do with him. It's Rob Holding there. You look at the Man City goal where Sterling scored in the 6-yard box with a header. It was him, Rob Holding again, with Bellerin instead that time. This time it was him and Chambers. But how is a man that height winning balls into the box with such ferociousness as well, intent? Because he knows that our defenders are not really about it. And when I say about it, I mean they're not really there for the fight. There's no hunger there. And in reality, there's nothing left in this Premier League season for us. So on one hand, I can say maybe the players feel that, but they shouldn't. They should still be embarrassed because they still have everything to prove. Every one of those players still have everything to prove.
They've got a big game ahead coming up on Thursday. Surely you want to go into that and say, right, we've beaten Liverpool. Right, you know. Or we've, it's been a great game against Liverpool. We're setting good. But now you're going into that game and you're thinking, boy, I don't know, man.
That's the biggest thing, Rob. We wanted to go into that game with our morale, our confidence there or thereabouts. Instead, it's been slashed to bits. We're going to be going into that game basically saying, we better be on the ball because we are still favourites. Even me.
Are you worried about that game?
No.
I am.
Because even though this club has let us down time and time again, we can't be worried about Slavia Prague. We shouldn't be.
No, but if we defend like that against Slavia Prague, they've beaten Leicester, they've beaten Rangers. They're no mugs. And if we defend like that against Slavia Prague, I'm very, very worried.
Listen, Rob, I get what you mean there. And I'm not saying we've got a divine right to win that game. All I'm saying is, as fans, we've let the club go down this far. That's us lowering standards too. We've still got bags of players out there on bags of money that regardless of our performances this season, we can't be going into Slavia Prague too worried. We need to go into there setting the bar high and watching if this team, lets us down again or if they stand up to the fight. Because that's where the fight is now, Rob. Europa League. That's all that's left in this season for us. And we're lucky that Slavia Prague did knock out Leicester. We're lucky Napoli and Tottenham are out of this competition because that's opened the light at the end of the tunnel for us. There's still a couple of teams I'm worried about. Villarreal, that's the main one for me. Emery and Villarreal in the semi-final is what I'm looking at already.
If we play like we played today, I don't think we'll get to the semi-final. Seriously, that has to improve 100% to me. I'm worried. I'm worried after that performance. I really am.
Didn't you, in some way, shape or form, expect this type of performance to come?
Not today. I thought I knew that. Listen, it's hard. I said in my predictions, always hard to predict these games because you've had that international break, and it kind of skewers things, and you don't, you know. But I honestly, I did not see even though maybe I'm being stupid. Even though we've seen so many poor performances this season, I didn't see that one coming. We've played a lot better than that recently, you know, against Leicester, against Tottenham, against good teams. That was pathetic today.
It was, but you look at the team and you look at what turned us around this season. Emile Smith-Rowe, Saka, Martinelli coming through today. None of them started. That's a big thing today. People will talk about Ceballos, El Nene, Xhaka not being there. That, to me, is not the issue. The issue was Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe. Because for 60 minutes, although we came not to park the bus, but to stifle Liverpool, we done well in that job. We had nothing up top.
Was that the wrong tactic?
Any tactic you go into against Liverpool, regardless of what they've done this season, they're still the defending champions. They've still won the Champions League in the last couple of years.
Teams have been... I saw a game the other day, Fulham. They took it to Liverpool.
Yeah, but our players don't have that, you know, they don't have that buzz. They don't have that vibrancy. You take out Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka, you've got the December team again. Remember what that December team was about and the run they just went on, you know? So that's really what it is. We're not too far from what we might say was hell again at Arsenal Football Club. We're not too far away from that. 2-3 players out, we're back to what we was during that run. Terrible. And that's what we saw today.
I just want to, before we leave, Claude, I've been asking everybody your thoughts on it. I mean, it was terrible news this week.
It's terrible news, Rob, and I don't think it will really settle in until we go back to games. You know, he was a big part of the atmosphere at games for us, especially, you know, being part of AFTV2. We'd see him before, after, during, you know, we'd see him midweek, you know. Today, we won't get his reaction to this game on his channel. You know, I don't think he'll fully settle in until we go back to games, but he's a legend, Rob. You know, his name will live on, his legacy will live on. And, you know, something about Claude that people might not know is before I even came onto AFTV, I looked at some characters on the channel, for example, and I said to myself, between Lee Judges, DT, and Claude, they pretty much say what I would come on and say anyway. There's no point in me coming on, you know? And he was a big part of me watching the channel, you know, enjoying the channel. And for me, his voice was one of the ones that I understood most out of anyone on this channel.
Well, it's a reason, as he always told me.
Yeah, you know, we disagree at times too. We definitely disagree, but I'd understand where it's coming from. And that's a good place, you know. So he's a legend, Rob. R.I.P. Claude.